Beis Habechira Perek Sheni Halacha Hey. So the entire Perek Sheni talks about the Mizbeach. Now there were two Mizbechos. There was the Mizbeach HaChitzin and there was Mizbeach HaPnimi. The outer Mizbeach and the inner Mizbeach. The Mizbeach HaChitzin was in the Azara, in the courtyard, and the Mizbeach HaPnimi was in the Kodesh. So they were in two different locations. They also had a different name. They had Mizbeach HaNechoshes and Mizbeach HaZav. Because the outer Mizbeach was made out of copper, the inner Mizbeach was made out of gold. They also had other names, Mizbeach HaOila and Mizbeach HaKteiros. The outer Mizbeach was called Mizbeach HaOila because that's where they brought the animal karbanis. And the inner Mizbeach was called Mizbeach HaKteiros because the incense was brought on that Mizbeach. So they were different in location, different in material, and different in function. The three different names that it had is because they were different in location, Mizbeach HaPnim, Mizbeach HaChitzin, different in material, Mizbeach HaNechoshes, Mizbeach HaZav, and different in function, Mizbeach HaOila and Mizbeach HaKteiros. So this parak is talking about the outer Mizbeach, the Mizbeach HaNechoshes, the Mizbeach HaOila. That's what we're talking about in this parak. So Halacha Hey, Mizbeach Sha'asa Moshe, Visha'asa Shloimeh, Visha'asa B'nei HaGoyla, Visha'asa B'nei Asis. The four Mizbechis. The Mizbeach that was by the Mishkan, and the Mizbeach in the first Beis HaMikdash, in the second Beis HaMikdash, and that will be in the third Beis HaMikdash. So all four of them, Kulan, Eser, Amos, Goiva, Kol Echad Mehem. Each one is really essentially 10 Amos tall. This that it says in the Torah, V'shalosh Amos Kaimasai, clearly, explicitly in the Torah it says, in Parshas Truma, it says that it's only 3 Amos high. It says the Rambam Mekoim HaMaracha Bilvad. We're going to soon learn in Halacha Zayin that the Mizbeach, there was the bottom, there was the Yesoid, then there was the Soiviv, and then there was the Makim HaMaracha. So the Yesoid we're going to see was 1 Amma tall. The Soiviv, which was the next part of the Mizbeach, was 5 Amos tall. And the Maracha, the Makim HaMaracha, was another 3 Amos tall. So even though it says in the Torah the Mizbeach was 3 Amos high, it doesn't mean that the entire Mizbeach was 3 Amos high. It means that's part of the Mizbeach, the top part. That area of the Mizbeach was 3 Amos high. It's only going on that part of the Mizbeach. But really,
10 Amos.
It's only 9. Then there's also the 1 Amma of the Keren, which makes it a total of 10. As we'll soon see in the next, in 2 halachas from now. Mizbeach she'asu b'nei hagoyla, v'chein ha'asu d'hibanois, midas arkay v'rach by lamed beis ames alamed beis ames. Now the width and the length, that's varied from Mizbeach to Mizbeach. The Mizbeach and the Mishkan, the Mizbeach and Beis Rishon were different size. But the Mizbeach of Beis Sheni and the Mizbeach of Beis, that will be by Beis Shlishi, are 32 by 32 amas, and that's on the bottom. On the bottom of the, because you'll see that it got smaller and smaller as it went up. But in the bottom, the yisoid, the base part of the Mizbeach was 32 by 32 amas. The Mizbeach that Shloimeh made in the Beis Rishon was actually 28 by 28. The Ram doesn't tell it to us here, but there's a Rashi in Mesechus Zvachim that says that the Mizbeach that Shloimeh HaMelech built in Beis Rishon, that one was 28 by 28. So it's a little bit smaller. Halacha Vav.
This is not including the kevish.
Correct. This is just, kevish is separate. Halacha Vav. Yud Amos shel Goiva HaMizbeach mehen be'ama bas hei tvachim umehen be'ama bas shisha tvachim. Generally, when we say an amma, it means 6 tvachim. That's typically what we mean everywhere when we say an amma. There are some times that we use the word amma for 5 tvachim. These 10 amas, we're going to soon see that most of them were amas of 6 tvachim. But the bottom amma and the top amma were both only 5 tvachim. So usually when you say 10 amas, that would be 60 tvachim. 10 times 6, 60 tvachim. But over here, the 10 amas were only 58 tvachim, because you chop off 1 tefach from the bottom amma, and you chop off 1 tefach from the top amma, leaves you with only 58 tvachim. So mehen, some of the 10 amas were ba'ama bas hei tvachim. Mehen, and some of them, most of them, were ba'ama bas shisha tvachim. Ushar kol amois habinyan. Any other time we talk about the measurements of the Beis Hamikdash, which we'll see in the duration of Hilchos Beis Habechira. We talk about the various measurements, how far it was from here to there, and the walls, etc. All the other measurements were all the amma bas shisha tvachim. There's the only exception that we use the word amma, that means 5 tvachim, is only by the mizbeach, the bottom amma and the top. The goy v'akol mizbeach. What's going to end up being? We're going to see that the height of the entire mizbeach is going to be nun ches tvachim. Total of 58 tvachim. Now the Rambam begins in Halacha Zayin to tell us in detail how you had these 58 tvachim, how you had these 10 amas, how it was structured. The kachaisa midasei v'tzurasei. This was its measurement and its form, what it looked like. Allah hey tvachim. The kanas chamisha tvachim. Zehu yisoid. So the yisoid that we spoke about, the bottom, the base of the mizbeach, which was 32 by 32 amas. That base was only 5 tvachim high, and then it went in. From all 4 directions, it went in 5 tvachim, and then came the next part, which was called the soiv.
No, that is the Yisoid. Zehu Yisoid.
Zehu Yisoid. So that base was the Yisoid.
Yeah.
And then came the next part, which is the soiv. The next, I'm saying the second level is going to be called the soiv. Nimtza roichav shloishim ama ushnei tvachim al roichav shloishim ama ushnei tvachim. That second part, because you went in 5 tvachim from both sides, you're left with 30 amas and 2 tvachim. Right? If you take off 5 tvachim from each side, from the 32 amas, so you're left with 30 amas and 2 tvachim, because 10 tvachim is 1 amma plus 4 tvachim. So if you take off 1 amma plus 4 tvachim from the 32, you're left with 30 amas and 2 tvachim. And that was the width and the length of the second part of the mizbeach, which was called the seivah. Allah shloishim tvachim v'kanas chamisha tvachim zehu seivah. This part of the mizbeach was 5 amas tall. The second layer, the second part of the mizbeach was 5 amas tall, and with normal amas of 6 tvachim. So that's a total of 30 tvachim tall. Nimtza rachbai shmoina ve'esrim ama ve'arba tvachim al chav ches ama v'dalet tvachim.
The Soiv.
It's the it's like it's a different size here. Okay, but the point is that after you reach the top of the soiviv, it again went in 5 tvachim from both sides, and then it went up. So again, if you take off 10 tvachim from the 30 amas and 2 tvachim, what are you left with? You're left now with 28 amas and 4 tvachim by 28 amas and 4 tvachim.
There is a picture here.
Yeah. Allah yudches tvachim. Then this third part went up 18 tvachim. This third part went up 18 tvachim. The koines like karen zavis. And then it would go in for the corner. Shala yudches binyan chalul meruba lechol arba kranis. Each one of the 4 corners had a karen built in the corner, the kranis, the 4 kranis, and it was a hollow. It was built hollow, and it was a square. Umekayim akranis ama mizeh v'ama mizeh saviv. And you had an amma on each side, exactly.
I know 4 sides. I know 4 corners.
So, in other words, 2 amas separated one keren from the other one. According to it.
Yeah, I'll read 2 more lines. I'll explain what it's saying. V'chein mekoyim meragli hakehanim amma saviv nimtza mekoyim amaracha rachbay esrim v'arba amis v'arba tvachim al esrim v'arba amis v'arba tvachim. Basically, again, we had the Yisoid, which was 32 by 32 amas. Then it went in 5 tvachim from both sides. So the second part of the mizbeach is only 30 amas and 2 tvachim by 30 amas and 2 tvachim. That went up 30 tvachim, and then it went in again 5 tvachim on both sides. And then we're up to the third part. So that third part, if you take off again 10 tvachim, you're down to 28 amas and 4 tvachim. by 28 amos and 4 tvach. Now, when you get to the top, so you had the 4 corners, you had the keren on the 4 corners. So when the kohanim had to walk around, they wouldn't be able to walk around in that amma, the first amma all around, because they would get stuck by the corners. So you needed another amma for them to walk around. So basically, you had 2 amas all around the entire top of the mizbeach that was not used for the wood and for the fire, etc., because that's where the kohanim had to stand. The first amma they couldn't stand because they'll bump into the corners. So the first amma all around wasn't used. The second amma all around was called the Mekoim Ragdei Kohanim, where they would walk around. And then past that, once you pass those 2 amas, the first amma, which is just between the corners, which is not used, because it's between the corners, you can't do anything there. The second amma, which is where they would walk around. So if you take away the 2 amas from both sides, you take away 4 amas. From the 28 and 4, you're down to 24 amas and 4 tvachim. That's what the Ram finishes off. You're left with 24 amas and 4 tvachim by 24 amas and 4 tvachim.
So you have here, I think.
That's what you have in the picture. You see in the picture here, yeah, exactly. If you see in this picture, you see that you have the kronis, the 4 corners. You see the kronis. So between the kronis, that amma wasn't really used. The next amma, which is colored over here in brown, some dark gray or brown, that amma was called in the Koim Ragdei Kohanim. That's where the kohanim will walk around, that spot. So that's like you have 2 ammas basically. The amma between the corners, and then the next amma. So those 2 ammas was not the Makim Hamaracha. That's not the area that was the Makim Hamaracha where they would put the fires and the fire. So if you deduct those 2 ammas from both sides, so you deduct 4 ammas, you're down to 24 amas by 4 tvachim. So the Makim HaMaracha was 24 amas and 4 tvachim by 24 amas and 4 tvachim. And the Ram continues in Halacha Ches. Goiva kol keren lekeren, the height of each one of these 4 corners was chamisha tvachim, as we mentioned earlier. V'ribua kol keren amo al amo, and it was a square, a cube, an amma by an amma, by an amma. The arba hakranes chalulas hayubitech, and they were hollow from the inside. The goiva mekoim hamaracha yitches tvachim. The height of the makim hamaracha, which was the 3rd section, section number 3, was 18 tvachim high, as we mentioned in the previous halacha. So now the Rambam tells us, if you do the measurements, if you want to know where is the exact middle, the entire height from the bottom all the way to the top is 58 tvachim. So where would be the middle if you divide 58 in half? That would be 29 tvachim. Where exactly was that spot of 29 tvachim? So if you count from the bottom, you have 5 tvachim, then you had 30 tvachim. 5 tvachim, and then you had 30 tvachim. So where would the 29 be? It was 6 tvachim before the top of the seivif. 6 tvachim before the top of the seivif, because then you covered your 5, and you covered another 24, right? 24 plus 5 is 29. 6 tvachim before the top of the seivif, that was the middle. Now, why was it relevant to know where the middle is? So we'll soon see. Nimtza comes out. Chatzi goyiv ha-mizbeach, the end of halacha ches. Where is the exact middle of the mizbeach? Chaf tes tvachim, or it's supposed to change over here. So it's like kishisha tvachim, misoit ha-seivif lamata. 6 tvachim from the end of the seivif, meaning from the top of the seivif, going down. 6 tvachim down from the top of the seivif. That was the exact middle. Now they had a string, a red string, at that location. All around the Mizbeach, they had this red string at that exact spot. The chut shel sikra halacha tes hayachoiger, be'emtza Mizbeach, it was like a chayger, it was like a belt that they belted around the middle of the Mizbeach with this red string. Kishisha tvachim miseiv haseiv lamata, as we said before, 6 tvachim beneath the top of the seif. What was the purpose of this string? Because there were some karbanas that they had to spritz the blood above the string. There are some karbanas that you have to spritz the blood beneath the string. And some karbanas have to be in the top half of the mizbeach spritz, and some karbanas in the bottom half. Lahavdil bein dam v'al the dam atachtin, to be able to differentiate between the bloods that have to be spritzed above and those that have to be spritzed below. V'nimtza gavay min ha'aretz ad mekayim ha'aracha, the Ram says, comes out that if you want to know what was the height from the floor till the makim ha'maracha, not till the top of the corners. Till the top of the corners, we already said earlier that it was 10 amas or 58 tvachim. That was till the top of the corner. But if you're just going to measure to the makim ha'maracha, to the area where they put the karbanis, where they put the wood on the karbanis, that was 5 tvachim lower. Says the Rambam, Teisha amas pachis tefach. It was 9 amas minus a tefach, because the bottom amma, remember, was only 5 tvachim, so we call it 9 amas minus a tefach, which would be...
So what are we deducting? From 58 inches.
You're deducting from the 58 tvachim, you're deducting the 5 tvachim, so you're down to 53.
You're deducting the 5 tvachim
of the
karen.
Exactly, you're down to 53. The Zohi Tzurasa, the Fimideisa, and the Rambam drew actually a picture of what it looked like. Okay, so let's do maybe one more halacha. Yeah, it doesn't have the picture. It doesn't have it. They drew their own picture, but that picture we don't have. Let's do one more halacha yud. The yesod, that bottom base of the mizbeach, didn't go all the way around. Didn't go all the way around. And it depends where you were. If you were on the north, or if you were on the north or on the west, then the yesod, you would see the yesod throughout the entire north side and the entire west side. Those two sides, the entire north side, the entire west side, you had that yesod, that bottom piece sticking out, 5 tvachim sticking out all around. But when it came to the other two sides, when it came to the mizrach side, when it came to the darim side, over there you only had a little bit sticking out from the beginning of both sides, but most of it didn't have that protrusion. It wasn't all around like the Seiv and like everything, like the rest of the Mizbeach. It was throughout the entire north and west side. It only came in one amma from the other two. From the Mizrach side, it only came in one amma, and also from the Darim side, it only continued one amma, and then it stopped. So if you were looking from the south, you would see one amma of your sides, all the way on the left. If you're standing by the Mizrach side and you were looking, you would see only one amma of your side all the way on the right. The Karen, the Draimis, Mizrachis, Loihayel. This corner, the Draimis, Mizrachis corner, didn't have a Yisayid. Not only that corner didn't have Yisayid, but all along on both sides, till one amma before the end, didn't have the Yisayid. And we'll learn more tomorrow, beginning Halacha now.